Hello, is audio okay? Waiting for some others to join. Just sharing now the link. Waiting for 2 more minutes if anyone else wants to join and we start. One more minute and we are live. So let's start. If anyone wants to join, they can watch the stream later. The stream will be posted on the channel. Make sure to turn the notifications on for the latest updates of videos I post. Also for the live streams when I start and when I finish the live stream. Just for your information, a reminder that everything shared here on this video or in the channel is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and it's just my thoughts of how market is gonna play out and what I think that the best plans or trades are gonna be for the next days or the next weeks. So let's start with Bitcoin as always on the higher time frame macro perspective. Sorry, on the higher time frames, as I've said on the last streams, nothing has changed. What we have done is that we have been consolidating into the same boring range for more than 20 days now. So let's mark again the macro ranges, macro key resistance and support zones. As I've talked about, key macro to be broken. I'm gonna mark this one on red. Is this zone here? Is this zone here? Is key zone to be broken on the macro key resistance area, which was the previous key support zone that held us for the most part of the bull cycle until it was broken, and Now, the moment that we broke down under it, bearish tested and we saw price getting rejected hard and going into a bloodbath downtrend. Also, another rejection here, consolidation as we said, correction on the bull flag or bull channel, however you wanna call it. Now is in an indecisive zone where we cannot either be bullish or either be bearish. As I've said on the last streams, on macro perspective, bullish only if we flip above this key zone here, 32 point, uh, more correctly 32.5k. This is key zone to be flipped into support. Consolidation above that zone gives us a probability of a move towards its 37.7 or even maybe higher to the macro mid-range if we consider this zone here as range high, range low, macro mid comes around 43k. Also, I wouldn't be bearish here, and I've explained the reasons why on the last stream, but I'm gonna explain it again. I'm gonna mark out the key support zone. I'm gonna make it on blue. So this is key support zone that as long as we are above it, we cannot consider a bearish environment or bearish momentum on the macro. If we get close under weekly close or even daily close under the 24k, it gives me bearish bias and the momentum is toward downside. So on macro, this is the key range high. As I've talked, let me check on lower time frames. This is the key, sorry, here we have the key range low, deviation here. As long as we closed above, we went direct and tagged the range high. So range low, let me mark the prices like this. And where does mid-range comes? It comes towards this zone here. I'm gonna make it on black. So on macro, also I'm gonna mark out of this key trend line here like this. So on macro, if we get close under this key trend line here, my target is this zone. Under this, target and target. Above here, target 1 and target 2. Nothing has changed on macro perspective for me. Is it all clear? Any questions about Bitcoin on higher time frames, macro perspective? If not, we continue with Ethereum. So let's continue with Ethereum, looking at the macro contest. Um, Let me see. I don't see anything bullish on the macro about Ethereum for as long as we are under this key zone here. This is key range high of the macro. Let me just make it cleaner to be more accurate. I'm gonna make it on red. So what price did rejected, went to the lows. Rally upside rejected nearly the lows. Also deviation, bearish retest, bearish retest, and bearish retest. For as long as we are under this key zone here for Ethereum, I would be cautious on Ethereum and on altcoins because it has more probability of the downside. I'm gonna mark out this trend line here, which is key trend line on also on daily and 12-hour time frames. If we get acceptance under it, I'm gonna explain it right now. But let's talk about this key zone here first. If we get close above this key zone here, first target is those highs, and second target is this key zone here on Ethereum. First is this zone, like this, and second we potentially can go towards this macro mid. I'm gonna mark out this one as macro mid. If we get acceptance above this key zone on Ethereum, my first target is those highs, second target, third target possibly here or even here. If we consider this if we consider this big range on Ethereum like this is key range high in my opinion. Key range low is this zone here. Let's see it even on lower time frames, like this, and the mid zone where mid comes. Okay, I'm gonna mark out a mid like this. I'm gonna make it on blue to be more cleaner, that as a mid zone like this. Marking the prices. Okay, this is for Ethereum. Also I feel more comfortable on marking also range quarters on Ethereum, because we can see even on lower time frames how price has respected those levels, and that's the reason why I want to mark out those range quarters also. If on Ethereum, I talked about the higher targets if we get close above here on macro time frames, on higher time frames, but if we get close under this zone here, the blue lighter blue zone, I think that Ethereum gonna come towards these lows, probably mid and even those lows here. On macro time frame, I've been talking about Ethereum that liquidity under is big build. The key lows that I expect to be taken, or they are needed to be taken, are those lows here. Second are those, and the third key zone is here and here. You can check them on even on lower time frames. We have equal lows here, formed equal lows here, liquidity not taken, and equal lows here. Market works in a way that doesn't let people win. So if we want to see the more, if we want to be more confident that the market is gonna move upside, I want to see Ethereum clean out all those lows. That would make me confident about much power on the bullish momentum. So this is for Ethereum on higher time frames, macro perspective. Also explained on the lost dreams. If everything is clean, I would continue towards the short-term ideas. First of all, I'm gonna mark the this one here, the Bitcoin dominance on higher perspective, Ethereum, Bitcoin on higher perspective, uh, dollar, and also total market cap and total 2, which is altcoins market cap. I'm going to start with the total market cap. What I'm seeing on total market cap is this key resistance area here. Let's make it on red. Key range high and key range low. On lower time frames, we can consider this candle here also as a key resistance area, but only if we get close above here. So key resistance there and here, where our mid is defined. Let's lower the time frames and check it. Mid zone comes around towards this candle here. Let's make it on blue, marking the prices like this. So on the macro, also total market cap is on the key range high where it's getting rejected. So I would not be super bullish and call for bull run or alt season or whatever you want to call unless this zone here is broken. If it's broken here, first target it's those highs here. First target is here, second target is there, I'm sorry, and the third target probably price gonna come towards this key RR, RS, sorry, resistance support area. Also, the same as Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm looking at this key trend line here. It more makes more sense on the total 2 than the total market cap. Deviation reclaimed, never lost again. If we get close under this, I'm gonna mark out on the total market cap, also the macro range quarters, which are well respected here. Like this, I'm gonna make them on green. Okay, range quarter here, and the other range quarter is the bounce zone of the lost dip that we had. Like this. Get above this zone here on 3-day or weekly time frame. As I said, targets highs here and here. If we get acceptance under this trend line, it's not a short signal for me, but I expect price to come towards this green zone as the first target and the macro mid-range as the second target on total market cap. But total market cap, it needs to flip this key zone here on higher time frames. I expect it on 2 weeks or on a monthly to be more strong confirmation, and I would be looking for spot buys or long triggers in dips that we have more than looking for shorts. Same thing for total 2 on the key resistance area here, range high, macro range high, macro. These lows are not taken, just for your information. Market doesn't play in a way that leave the those buyers here to win. Range high, range low, looking on lower time frames. Where does the mid range comes? It's this zone here, making it on red. Let's make it stronger. So like this, also marking out the range quarters on blue and the other range quarter on blue like this. So it's clean enough for the also for the total 2 close above here on the higher time frames, and I expect price to come towards first this zone here, and second potentially coming towards here. Potentially, I'm saying if we get close on the even on lower time frames under the range quarters under the blue, I expect macro mid range to be tagged, or even the macro range quarter. Bitcoin dominance, it's sitting on its key support. If this zone gets lost, I'm expecting a move towards this zone, where is a must bounce zone for Bitcoin dominance, because it's the previous range high of which it broke out its 2-year accumulation range. Is this the pullback that Bitcoin dominance is doing and all altcoins are breathing just to continue higher towards the key macro resistance area? We need to wait and see that, but Bitcoin dominance, for as long as we are above this 48.3% zone, I'm bullish on Bitcoin dominance because of this big macro accumulation. 2 years accumulation is not a short period of time, and the expansion should be even higher. I talked about Ethereum BTC pair on the last streams. It hasn't moved, it's still sitting at the 3-day demand zone. Also on short term, for Ethereum, Bitcoin, and for altcoins to gain strength, Ethereum, Bitcoin pair has to close above this zone to gain strength, to come towards this zone for as first zone, second and the third one those equal highs. But if I like that the is forming kind of bullish structure with low, high, higher low, higher high, and potentially coming towards this zone to form another higher low and trying to break out of this zone here, forming a higher high. I want to see that develop on the next days or weeks. But if we get close under this zone, I think that this bullish structure is about to be broken, and we get rejected here with second deviation, probably double top. I don't know if the RSI is showing us bearish divergence here. I haven't checked it, but doesn't matter. If we close under this zone here, I'm expecting the price to come towards these lows and potentially those here. If we want to gain the momentum on altcoins, Bitcoin dominance has to close above this zone here to gain strength, coming towards this key zone here as first target, second target, and the third target are those equal highs. But for as long as it holds this 3 days demand zone, I'm not worried about the Ethereum Bitcoin pair because it has its strength. So this was on the higher time frames. We start looking at the scenarios of the lower time frames. I've been looking at the chart, and I've been considering some scenarios as potentially play scenarios, which one of them is this one. I'm trying to the since 2000 2023 started, the second half of the January 2023, what price has done, it has been accumulating or distributing on the ranges. So just like this, 19 days of range. Here we had 23. Here we had small 10 days. And now we are on the 29th day of this boring range. What I'm looking at is, so looking at here, this zone here is macro key resistance area. This zone here. What price did, sorry, let me mark it correctly. This was a key zone. So what price did here? I'm talking about this play here. Rejected. I'm marking out also this key zone here. So what price did? Rallied, rejected. Formed kind of range. Okay, let me make it clean. Rallied, formed kind of range, consolidated under the key resistance area, formed a range. And what did the price do? Let me make it more clean on the 12 hours like this. So let's see. What did the price do? Here are the lows. Range high here. Let me take this off for some time. So let's see it on the daily like this. Let me just, okay, good. Like this. Seeing the price in this perspective here, what did price do? Ranged, those are the lows. Range, deviated the lows, left the lows here, untagged. We formed a bullish power of 3, left the highs here. Let me mark the highs and lows prices on green, like this. Range low, range high. Broke down the range low, deviation, took the lows. As long as we closed on lower time frames above the range here, we went for the highs. Deviated the highs, price went straight towards these lows here. Deviated these lows, rally. What I'm trying to say is why Bitcoin also consolidating under the key resistance area. Why cannot we play a move like this? Range high and the range low, making it on blue like this. We had the lower time frames deviation here, highs here, lows here not taken into all exchanges. Also, I'm working out of those equal lows on lower time frames here. So why price cannot do something like this? Deviate here. Also, I'm marking out the 32.6, 32.5 highs. Expansion here, just like we did here on this zone. Take the lows, reclaim the range, take the highs, deviate the highs, and come towards the lows. After that, are we gonna go upside like we did here, or we consolidate here? I don't know. I don't want to play the probabilities, but I'd like to know why you think Bitcoin cannot play like this? Again, I wouldn't take out this possibility of play attacking both sides. Take the lows, deviate, grab the late shorters, expansion towards these highs and the 32.6 highs that we've been talking about. Those highs here. Take both highs and come towards these low time frame lows here. This is one scenario that I'm looking on Bitcoin. But still, the key scenario is this one. I'm not being dependent on that one. My key scenario is still this one. What price has done the last days, weeks, it has been ranging into this key zone here. I'm marking out this zone here as the range low. Here, making it on black range low, like, I'm sorry, like this, range high here. I'm not considering the mid-range. If we get 12-hour or daily close under this zone here, I think that Bitcoin is gonna come towards, let me check. I think this is another key zone to be checked because it's the previous range high before this big move here. And I'm marking also the previous range low here. Under that, we can come towards the macro zone that I talked about. I'm making it on blue or okay, purple like this. My bullish scenario is if we get above this zone here, consolidate above that, or deviate the range low, reclaim. First target is the range high, and the second target is those highs here. Those are my two bullish scenarios. My bearish scenario is breakdown of this key zone here on the daily time frame to be more accurate, and if we get a breakdown of here on the daily time frames, I see that on the 12-hour we have broken down of it, and price, if we get closed like this, I think that this candle here is just a bearish retest of the range low, and we probably go towards this zone here for as long as we are under, I wouldn't say under 30k, but to be more accurate, I would say under 30.1k, 30k and 100. If we get acceptance above 30k 100, I'll be looking to play it long towards the equal highs here, 30k 500. But as long as we are under this zone here, my first target is this small accumulation zone. Rally, accumulation, rally, continue to rally. So this zone is first target, second, and the third target. If we get close under this one. Um, Ethereum, Nothing has changed also for Ethereum, as I've been talking about the key zone of Ethereum. If you have been listening to me on the last streams, it has been so easy trading Ethereum because this zone was so obvious of trading. This is key zone to be passed, to be bullish on Ethereum, and for being bearish, it's the breakdown of this zone here. Not bearish, but short-term bearish, tagging this zone, making it on black, like this. Above here, target remains the same. First target, second one, and even those highs. As long as we are under this one, I'm looking also at this trend line like this. If we get a breakdown of this trend line, I'm expecting a sharp move of Ethereum towards this. Let's call it a mid zone. So easy. Under this target here. First target are those lows here, and the second target are, as I said, first is this one, and then this zone here. Above here, first target, second target, third target, and even higher. Yet no breakdown of this trend line. To be more cleaner, I'm gonna make it more like a channel like this. Like this one. And the last is where liquidity stands. For Bitcoin, equal highs and those lows here are key. For now, lower down are those two lows here. Here we have fair value gap on the lower time frames that I want price to break and hold above it for more bullish confirmation. So mark on your charts, those highs here are key. So if one possible scenario that price might play, if we have a upside move, is uh, go and attack those highs to clean the upside zone, to confirm the upside zone liquidity hunted, and come towards those lows here to attack, or even probably those lows here. So those highs here are a price where that you should all mark on your charts. Also those lows here. I wouldn't also rule out a possibility of attacking those lows and going for those highs, but I wouldn't be longing those lows, because if we attack those lows, there is a big probability that we're gonna lose the range low of the pure price action. I'm not gonna long the reaction here, because for as long as we are under the range low, I talked about the 28.5, first 28.7k as the first target, and the other targets I mentioned. But if we take those lows and reclaim the range low, that would give me more conviction on my trade of where price should go. If we take out those lows, reclaim the range low here, close back above it, first target this one, second target fair value gap, third target is the previous range high and the 32.6k highs. Also, what is giving me uh, the I talked about, if Ethereum breaks down of this trend line or channel or whatever you want to call it, if it breaks down, it's gonna be a short move, I think, towards those lows here, and tag the 1800 on the, or 1100 zone. Why is that? Because look at what Ethereum has done. Took out the highs that I mentioned on the last streams. Those lows are so clean. All, let me make it like this. All this zone here is full of liquidity, not taken. So if we get a breakdown of that zone that I talked about, that trend line on the pure price action, I think that Ethereum is gonna come. It has probability to dump around 4 to 5% to take the lows, clean the downside. Also on Ethereum, marking out the key equal highs. Let's look at the lows here, look at here, no liquidity taken. So why price cannot push the longers here and take them out of the game? I'm marking out the highs here, those highs taken. After those highs are taken, I think that it makes more sense that those lows are gonna be attacked next. Didn't took the short here, wasn't on shorts. If we get a move towards those highs here, maybe I'm gonna go short. I'm gonna wait for their reaction and update, but there is a possibility that I can go short here if we attack those highs before attacking those lows. But let's see what price gives us on the next days. Also covering fast update for some altcoins which are interesting. First of them is IOTA, forming good good structure. If we get a breakout of this blue trend line, my first target is this zone here. A second target is the red zone, which is key one. If we get flipped above it, I think that it has room much more to go upside. What my trigger would be is lower time frames. I'm looking at this key resistance area, close above this on the lower time frames and hold. My validation is close back under. My first target are those highs if we want to play it as scalp trade, but in spot I'm gonna hold it as swing trade towards this zones as the first target, and the other target potentially this zone here and even here. But let's see. First, we need to see the breakout. Second short is this coin. I don't even know what coin this is, but it looks like it has big compression on the daily time frame between the key support area and key resistance area. Key support area is here and key resistance area is here. If my trigger would be easy, if we get acceptance above this zone and a breakout of the trend line, I think that price can go move first towards this zone, which would give us a move of 25%. Second target is this one here, and it's thanks for playing for me. Fast also with Bitcoin pair, it looked interesting. I thought that I had a short on it, but looked like I closed it. I deleted it, so flip this zone and makes the things interesting. Probably going towards here. 28% move. This shitcoin that has been pumping the last days. If Bitcoin behaves good and doesn't lose the range low, or if it deviates the range low, I'm gonna be a buyer on this one. For now, weekly time frame, it looks like it has broken out and now retesting the macro mid range. For as long as this red zone holds on macro time frame, I think that first target and the second target here are in play. This coin is one of my favorites for long-term holds, and it has been accumulating for a long time now. I've been considering it the same price action as Link, but Link moved more fast. So look at what Link did. Accumulation, accumulation, or distribution, whatever you want to call it. Deviation back above on lower time frames. We can see a clean retest here and bullish move. Same thing I want to see here. Accumulation, lose the range low, reclaim first target, second target. But this one gonna be long-term hold for me, so I'm not targeting the range high or the mid-range as take profit. I'm gonna hold it for more high, even higher. First target, I'm looking at it as a coin that has potential on the next bull run as a gaming coin to go towards the all-time highs it had on the last cycle. Also, Matic, interesting coin, deviated the key zone, deviation here, bearish retested. If we get a breakdown of this trend line and then this zone would be the breakdown of the trend line would be a short trigger for me. Invalidation is close back above the green zone. First target is this darker green zone. Second target is the red one, and the third target possibly, if I'm lucky, and if Bitcoin follows also on the downside, it's the 43 cents target. So this is it for today's stream. I hope that the content I share here is helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel, like the video and share it. Show support if you find it helpful, and thank you all who tuned in. I really appreciate it. Remember that everything shared here is not a financial advice, it's just my thoughts of how market is gonna move out. Always do your own research and never blame anyone on missing any trades. This is it for me, Heisenberg. Happy holidays and cheers.